And good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm on the bop. I'm in Ashpit. As I was telling you last night, I had a nice little dinner party. My friends had a dinner party for me. And Asheville always leaned, when I was here, there was nobody here to lean one way or the other, but this place is one heck of a liberal zone of reality. And what does that mean? What is reality? Pretty much for most humans, it's what they're told it is, right? Because one thing about our consciousness, we have this little thing that we have the frontal lobes and we have the peripheral lobes, and we had these guys back here, and that is our emotional center that we think is our intelligence, right? And so we're very easily manipulated. That's what advertising is. It's propaganda, right? Look at the tobacco sellers, for, you know, 50 years of radio and television up until the 70s and 80s, tobacco companies were telling people that cigarettes were good for you. 9 out of 10 doctors smoke Lucky Strikes. And if anyone knew about Lucky Strikes, those suckers were, no, it was Pall Malls. Pall Malls were the cigarettes that prisons gave to prisoners, because even if you didn't smoke, you got a pack of cigarettes a week. And then in jail, you could use them as money, to trade, or but they wanted you to smoke cigarettes, and those Pall Malls were made from the floor clippings. I mean, they were the death of sub-death cigarettes, and they were told that they were good for you. So anyway, that's what we're told. We believe whatever we're told. We believe that Cammy is all about hope, and Donnie is all about who knows what. He's just a weird guy. Well, there's no denying that he's a weird guy, but the media, bends it any way it wants to. I mean, Donnie got in because he got about $16 billion worth of free advertising by the way media covered him, because he was a game show host. He spent 10 years doing that. He had really good ratings. I mean, I had the best ratings on TV. Well, he pretty much did, kind of. But, for game show host, yes, right? So he knows how to spin the web. And yeah, he's getting old and he's not as spunky as he was, but he's not toast like JoJo. And JoJo has been so wired for so long that he doesn't know what's up or down. So that's why, and it's pretty obvious. When JoJo came on the scene in, 15, after Donnie announced, but no one thought Donnie would even get to, through the primaries, but he entertained his way through it, right? And so at that point, the Democrats will have their little party where they pick which person and see how it works in this country, and pretty much all around the world. You're led to believe that you have freedom, that you have a choice. But in the beginnings, in the primaries, like Tazi Gabbard, now she should have been president. She was sharp. She was good. She was experienced. She had been in war. That's the girl you want as president, not Hillary Clinton. We came, we saw, we killed them. It's like, no, right? So Tazi would have done some righteous stuff. And there were some other people on that thing. Tazi and Buttigieg, they would have knocked it out of the park. But they didn't even make it. So, and, what's his name? Because everyone wanted something different. Give Hope a chance didn't work out with that guy, because he was worse than, Junior, and Dick, Dick. So, what are you going to do, right? So it is a short one because I'm going to be on the bop and I'm just drinking my coffee. and the House will erupt in activity sooner rather than later. And I will have to sign off then. But so the bottom line, I kept, I kept telling my friends here who are all liberal what this was. And I said, it doesn't matter who wins, it's going to be shit, right? And it is shit to pay, right? We're going into the dark ages, but, we have nuclear power. And, instead of having the Vatican trying to warp our minds, Walmart says, so, we're going to be just where we are. It's going to be a little nasty. And the environmental thing is going to be with us. And that has nothing, if we stop using cars, I mean, a good example is when we had the pandemic, the uses of coal and oil went down, right? Because they closed all the factories, right? So, and people didn't spend as much and blah, 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 right? Supply chains got crushed. But the bottom line is, when you looked at the environment, that warming of the temperature didn't stop. Those 2 years were as warm as they were, the warmest, until this year, So this thing is something the planet is doing. Now, the stuff that we dump in our environment is not good, and it's going to kill us. Our cancer rate is through the roof. Back in 1895, when they really started, collecting data on who dies and who doesn't, and the insurance companies, and they're the ones who keep all that stuff, so they can tell who to insure and what not to insure. So anyway, once they started getting grip on mortality, they realized that there was a direct connection with, people dying of, smoking cigarettes, drinking, guns. I mean, they knew that back in the 1890s, right? They knew that even, way further back, right? So, but the statistics of cancer, it's like right now, people who are getting cancer the most are children. Because their mothers and grandmothers have been exposed to this toxic soup for so long that it's in their gene pool. And their, kids are wired in their, biology to kind of survive. The only thing that kind of kill kids is either their fathers or getting run over by a car or a train or a horse or, and there were certain diseases that if you were young, not like me, I died, 4 or 5 times before I was 10. And then I had the big wee in 10. And when I woke up from that, I said, that's it. I am never getting, I'm not getting sick. And I didn't. I haven't been, right? Yes, I died from excess, in 2014, but that's because I weighed almost 500 pounds, right? Now I'm down to, between 210 and 210 is my zone. But sometimes I've been down to 190 and I've been to 230 and it's kind of in there. Well, that's fine, My endocrine system is happy there, right? I have homeostasis, and that's why I'm alive. But our society doesn't have homeostasis, right? The only thing that's going to bring that, it's not going to be more taxes or less taxes or this or that. No, it's going to be you being nice to yourself and then nice to everyone around you. So I was, telling people, that, hey, they're all liberals. And we have to vote. One is, aren't you going to vote for Kamala? I said, no, I've stopped voting back, before, Nixon, And I wasn't even, I think the only person I've never voted for a president. I voted in, elections that I was involved in, city council or state legislature or my congressman or senator. I've done that. But I got, when I worked for an inside fixer, a political inside fixer, one who's really good. Really good because she works both for Republicans and Democrats. And no one knows her except the people, the politicians and the bankers and the corporate folk, right? She's not on television. She doesn't get interviewed. I have no idea where she is now, but I used to work for her. And I would go to parties and read people, right? And that's why I really started honing my skills. So, so this is my friend's house, and they have lived in this sucker for almost 40 years, and they bought this for nothing. It's got 4 lots. It's right in the middle of Ashcan, North Carolina, and like we were sitting out on their porch, and there was no city noise. All you could hear was the crickets. So it's a beautiful place, but man, this thing was a mess when he bought it. So I helped him fix this place up. Most of the sheetrock, not most, helped him. We had other people too, but I kind of wired it and helped in other ways. But I'm gonna go get a little more coffee. I have to wake up because I've been watching the news. Sam, I don't have access to this information. So, right now in Ukraine, it's obvious that if we gave the Ukrainians the weapons they need, like letting them to use the ATACMS, so they could hit all of the air bases that are bombing the crap out of Ukraine, right, and killing innocent. There's maybe 12 innocent Russians that have been killed during this war, and in Ukraine, like 140,000, almost as many individual mommies and kids have died in this war as the soldiers. And so, and Ukraine's kicking Russia's butt, and they have created, while they're being bombed, while they're on the back foot, they've been building an amazing industrial output of the military-industrial complex. After this war, they survive it. They will be the best army and the best. They will be making trillions out of the weapons, because everybody in Europe, everyone says, "Whoa, NATO's back." Well, not really, right? Germany is still hemming and hawing, and they're the richest country, and they should be dumping money into this because they have the most to lose if Ukraine loses. So that's just Europe and that neck of the woods, right? The shit that's going on, and we don't care. See, I keep saying that all of this stuff is so chaotic, so weird, doesn't add up to the dynamics. And all the people who you hear on TV, even the alternative guys, still are the loyal opposition. That guy, what's his name? Peter something. He's an economist. I really like his show. I really like him. I really like the information he gives, but he's still talking. He's still saying what his boss is, because he worked in the big corporations for most of his career, writing papers about this, that, and the other thing. He was kind of like me, but he matriculated. He just did that. Me, I did a zillion other things. I just didn't do just that. When I got pretty good at doing just that, and they were paying me a lot of money, I did that more than I did anything else. But I still was making art, still doing social activism, still being an electrician, still writing, still doing all the stuff I like doing, because I like doing it. I've never had a job. I've just had, a career, a set of, skill sets, right? And, on my business card, it says cultural provocateur and art party ringleader. And that's pretty much me. So anyway, waking up. So I was spitting all this out, and so doesn't matter whether Donnie wins or the girl wins or even if Jojo declared, he's already declared martial law. They just haven't pulled the trigger yet, right? So that's the direction where the United States is heading, and we've been in that since Christopher Columbus showed up here. They killed 60 million indigenous people just in the United States. Right? I mean, this place was well populated. And when you take in Canada and Mexico and Central America and South America, we killed almost 600 million, from Christopher Columbus and on. That's a lot of people. Right? And if you look at all of what European imperialism did, we killed probably 1 billion people. Now we're on course to do the same thing in the next 20, 30 years, by 2050. And if you go to the inside scoop, it's not the 2020, 25. No, or that's nothing compared to what they had planned for 2030 and 2050. By 2050, they want the population to be less than 3 billion people. There he is.
Don't forget, your boys want that transmission fluid.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, I'm not taking that.
Okay.
You'll have to add it.
Anything else?
You'll have to add it drip by drip into your coffee.
Nope.
Well, everyone's going to go electric. There aren't going to be any transmissions left.
Are you talking to yourself?
Mm-mm.
You're filming?
To my fans.
Oh.
All one of them.
Oh.
Well, the crowd is firming up here, and I have things to do. So I will say au revoir. Okay? It's fun. I'll talk to you again soon. Later today. I'll find a Jenny's somewhere.